Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to What's New and Coming Up with Lipedema. Today we have me, the research specialist of the team. Catherine, do you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. And I'm so happy when we're doing this. It's Friday. It's the last thing that I do on a Friday.
And Tamara.
Hey, happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Oh, I
everybody.
forgot.
And if you're joining us today, go ahead and pop a hello in the chat, how you're doing, if you're celebrating Valentine's Day or what the weather's like, whatever you feel like sharing. We always like to hear from everybody. And yeah, so I think it's been a busy week for a lot of us. I just got back from Las Vegas, where I was attending the Collaborative Science Conference, or COSI. This is the second year that it's been held, and it's put on by my friend and colleague Dave Feldman. So he invites over a bunch of people who do citizen science and formal science so that everybody can get together and collaborate and share what they find and ask good questions and just build up a little bit more of that communication in the science space, which is really exciting. And this time it was particularly exciting because the day before the conference was actually a special screening of The Cholesterol Code, which is the documentary that Dave has been working on along with Wide Eye Productions. And it's done. It's done. So a bunch of people who went there and signed up got a first look, and it was very cool. So, for those of you who don't know, Dave has been going on this cholesterol journey looking at low carb metabolism and how it impacts cholesterol levels, and all of this not as a formal scientist originally, but as a citizen scientist experimenting on himself, bringing in other people for the adventure, and eventually publishing a bunch of papers on the topic. I mean, he has a bunch of them at this point. And he also started the Citizen Science Foundation in order to crowdfund for the lean mass hyperresponder study, which now has all of the data collected and is pending publishing. So that is looking at people who have gone on a low carb diet and they've seen their cholesterol go up. And the question was, are these people at high risk for heart disease? Are they going to rapidly develop heart disease? So they decided to measure it directly. So the documentary is partially about that, but also about the scientific journey and the reason why this question is so important for people. So, as many people here know, there's lots of people who go on low carb or ketogenic diets because they're trying to manage a condition. So, in the documentary, there were interviews with many different people. One of them was a little boy who's using a ketogenic diet to manage type 1 diabetes. There's a woman who uses a ketogenic diet to put her bipolar disorder in remission. Another, a man, a friend of mine, Eric Rogers, who used a ketogenic diet for his depression. And so it kind of brings in the human element of this question, because one of these things is like, if you see your cholesterol go up on a low carb diet, why don't you just go off the diet? And for some people, it's not as easy a decision as that. If there aren't really as effective treatment options, or those treatments come with side effects, so then it becomes a quite difficult decision.
So I have a real question, which is my primary care is always wanting me to go on statins. And I keep
Mm-hmm.
saying, I don't need statins. I'm actually getting what I need, even though it doesn't look like that. How can I address that kind of a question?
So I think whether to go on medication or not is always going to be a personal decision. And it's something that's discussed a little bit during the documentary, because there are people who do decide to get cholesterol lowering treatment on a low carb diet, and there are some who choose not to. And then I would say, like, once the documentary comes out, just have them watch it and then say, this is kind of some of the things I'm thinking about. Can we discuss it a little bit more? and just present your view on things. Like, are you concerned? Are you not concerned? There are some people who choose to monitor closely and just make sure that they're doing okay in terms of heart health. And then understanding that it is a developing research question. Like, we have data incoming and we don't know what the answer is. So one of the cool things about the documentary is that there is some data revealed in it that Dave specifically asked us not to share. So no spoilers. But when it does come out, I highly encourage you all to watch it because I think it is very, very interesting for anyone who is on a low carb diet or who's interested in it. And so we had the special screening over the weekend, but he and the team are talking with a streaming service to see if they can get it up there. And if those negotiations go through, it should be available this fall. And I'll, of course, release more information about that as soon as I have it. I know as much as everybody else does at this point. So just that general time frame. But yeah, it was super awesome. It combined the science, the research journey, the personal stories, why it matters. And yeah, I had a really good time. It was very, very cool.
I'm so glad to hear that it continues to expand. Dave's information on keto and the different sciences behind it are so helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What's the name of the documentary?
The documentary is called The Cholesterol Code.
How long is it going to be? Any idea?
I believe it was about 2 hours, I think, because it was a 3-hour slot and then 1 hour was for like getting everybody together. Probably 90 minutes because there was Q&A afterwards. So kind of feature film length, pretty much. But yeah, it goes by fast. At least it did for me because I was just super drawn in and fascinated and being like, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. So, one person I forgot to mention who's definitely worth mentioning, who is featured in the documentary, is Jen Unwin. So she talked about how she uses a ketogenic diet for carbohydrate addiction. And for her, like, adding carbohydrates back is not possible because then it causes just this spiral for her in terms of cravings and bingings and feeling that loss of control. So it was really cool how they managed to feature a bunch of different people using ketogenic diets for different purposes. And I know for a fact there's dozens and dozens and dozens of different reasons that people use it. And Cindy Lou Who sent a heart, so we'll send a heart back right to you. And then Marilee said, greetings from the Pacific Northwest. And she said, my sister-in-law's mother's cholesterol was in excess of 325. Yeah, so there's lots of people featured in the documentary with levels of that level or higher. In some cases, double that. So, yeah, very interesting group of people that were explored. And Carrie Walker said, I'm sorry, what's the documentary? So the documentary is called The Cholesterol Code. It is hosted, I guess, narrated by my friend Dave Feldman, who's been doing a lot of work in the cholesterol space over the past 8 years, I think, at this point.
Well, that's going to be a great resource.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dave's work is fabulous, I have to say. He's really an innovator here in looking at low carb. Well, because he did it himself. I mean, he worked on it on his own. I mean, I think N=1 is the best that we can get.
Yeah, and Dave's journey has gone from N of 1 to N of 2 to N of 3 to N of, I think it was 18 for the KetoFest cholesterol drop experiment, and now it's expanded out to over N of 100, N of thousands. So that's how science starts, is observation, and you figure out what questions to ask, and you figure out how to ask them, and you don't stop because once you've answered one of them, you now have about 3 dozen more.
Well, that's how everything that we've done here works.
Mm-hmm.
Just start asking the questions and having conversations and looking for solutions. And that's, that seems to be the name of the game. So, just a quick couple of quick announcements. We have coming up a class with Cindy Beers and Hetty Pugh. Cindy and Hetty team up and do yoga and meditation, guided visualization. They did a freebie webinar this week that was just fabulous. And so they're going to be doing a 6-week class that starts on Saturday. Here, let me pull up the screen.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, if people haven't seen the webinar, you may still have seen Cindy and Hetty because they have been part of some of our events. So I believe they were at the last event. So you may be familiar with them from there, and a lot of people love them. I've seen lots of people singing their praises and really enjoying their participation. So I think this is a great opportunity if you just want to focus on this and get 6 weeks to explore it a little bit more in depth.
Love them and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy does very kind and gentle movement to help. You can do movement lying down, you can do movement sitting in a chair, you can do movement standing, you can do movement down on the floor, every which way to fit your body. And just wonderful yogic based exercises. And Hetty does the meditation part after Cindy gets everybody a little bit moving around, moving that body. And so we wanted to do something special for the community. So bless them. They're doing this with a $40 discount. I'm going to, here it is. So
Wow, that's
sign
a
up.
great price.
Yeah, very low. So it was 97 and they wanted to do something as a gift to the community. So we lowered it to 57 for 6 weeks
For
of
6
yoga.
weeks. So that is less than $10 a week. And there's 6 live sessions. So that is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah. And if you miss, wait a second. Sorry, you guys. And if you miss, they'll be recorded, so you'll be able to always have access to the replay. And so it starts on, did I say, the 22nd of February.
Yeah, so in a week.
Next Saturday.
And Carrie in the chat said, I signed up for their class yesterday. The webinar was great. So we already have one person who will be there. And yeah, you'll get to hang out more during those classes as well, which is always fun. It's something I appreciate about the classes that we do is it's not just that you show up and you watch some seminars and you get some information. There's a lot of community participation and talking and bonding with each other and hearing from other people as well, which is always awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And who couldn't use more calm, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good thing.
I have to say, Tamara, you look gorgeous. You look so beautiful today.
Thank you. Going out with my husband tonight. We're
okay.
Meeting some other couples at our local clubhouse restaurant.
Oh, how nice.
Fancy dinner. We just decided we deserve it. You know, it's a little pricey and not something that we would normally do, but my husband was like, let's just do it. We deserve it.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So I got some lobster on the menu.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
What did you say, lobster?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, we live by the coast now, so we get all that fresh goodness.
oh, that's
And
good.
thinking about Valentine's Day, if I could just insert a little bit on that,
Please
Yes.
you
do.
know, we can think about sharing our love, and that's always my big thing is sharing your love, but sharing your love towards yourself. And just want to encourage everybody today to think about the things that are special and unique about you and celebrate those things and show up in the world and also give your love, your light to other people today and always. Compliment people, but remember to compliment yourself. And you deserve to be loved. And
Mm-hmm.
so, just this day to highlight that, to really think on what are your, even if you want to say your top 10 favorite things that you love about your life, your top 10 things that you love about yourself. It could be, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. I always like to encourage everybody to love our curves, bumps, and bobbles, but also to really reflect on how you were created and the beautiful things that you are, and to celebrate those things today as well.
Love.
And for Valentine's Day, I actually just remembered I came across a poem today that I think is kind of what I'm hoping everybody watching and everyone who's in the community experiences more and more as they go along through their journey. So this is called The Orange by Wendy Cope. At lunchtime, I bought a huge orange. The size of it made us all laugh. I peeled it and shared it with Robert and Dave. They got quarters and I had a half. And that orange, it made me so happy, as ordinary things often do. Just lately, the shopping, a walk in the park. This is peace and contentment. It's new. The rest of the day was quite easy. I did all the jobs on my list and enjoyed them and had some time over. I love you. I'm glad I exist.
Mhm.
Did you write that?
No, I am not the author. That is by Wendy Cope, Cope, Wendy Cope. It's called The Orange. It came up in my feed today, and I was like, oh, that's wonderful. I love that.
It sounds like you. That's interesting. Doesn't
Maybe
it
that's
sound?
why I liked it so much
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
just resonates.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it
did.
resonates so much. It sounds like you, Siobhan. Well, thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I also wanted to share on, I believe it's the 26th will be my next podcast at 6 p.m.
Hmm.
EST. And I'm having Susan O'Hara
Ooh,
that will be joining me. And she is the owner of Legs Like Mine. And I know that that's going to be a really great podcast. It's going to be at 6 p.m. EST on all the
Hmm.
great places, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
awesome.
Yeah.
So lovely. We have interesting and fun stuff for everybody. I'm gonna save the date. This is save the date way in the future, but we were talking today. Leslin and I were talking with Dr. Stan Roxon, and we set dates for our fall symposium event
Mm,
because there's a lot of lymphatic big stuff going on in October this year. So Stan recommended October. We still have to go through some hoops, but we were looking at October. Yom Kippur is October 1 and 2. So we would start on October 3 after
mm-hmm.
everybody's atoned. We would start on the 3rd and we'd have 3, 4, 5. So anyway, save the date until you hear
Good.
otherwise.
Awesome.
Good deal.
Okay, does anybody have anything else before we wrap up and enjoy our long weekend?
Yeah, long weekend. Sounds good. Wrap us up, Siobhan.
Okay, thank you everybody for stopping by. We will be back next week. Same bat place, same bat channel, same bat time, same bat everything. And yeah, we'll have more updates on what's new and coming up with Lipedema. And believe me, we have a lot of stuff in the works. So keep coming back and bring your questions and your company, and have a good week and enjoy the weekend.
Bye,
Bye bye, everybody.
everyone.